มาแล้วครับเริ่มกันแล้วครับระหว่าง T1 กับ TALON นะครับ
has been the talk of the town here in Korean Valorant with their roster and so far they have been
นี่ครับ
unstoppable
T1 นะปีนี้เป็นปีที่เรียกว่าอะไรอ่ะ
our talent esports the
ทีมรวม
Thai
All Star นะ
representative and
แบบ
you know they want to get
มีแต่ตัวตึ
to
ง
Thailand for Masters Bangkok
Absolutely, I think you know
รอบชิงด้วย
Talon is that team where
ปะ
they
วะ
haven't really been tested so
รอบ
much
ชิง
this
นี้เขาเรียกว่า
tournament. They have only
เข้า
had to
ไป
play
คือ
against
ใครชนะ
Global, who has looked shaky, was
คุณ
playing
ได้
with
ไป
a
Master Bangkok เลย
stand-in,
ครับ
was playing a couple of maps in the pool that they really were not super comfortable on. I think Talon even in the off-season as well, you've seen them, you know, not play well in some
TALON ครับ
series,
ผม
make a grand final of an off-season
เอาละครับ
event as well. So they have that potential. They played a chance last year as well. You know, although it is a team that can be a little inconsistent at times, they can definitely reach the heights of greatness sometimes.
Yeah, I think this game will be the convincer for a lot of people on Talon. If they're able to upset T1 today, take home the win, all of a sudden we have to all start rating Talon a lot higher, moving them up our tier list, which is, you know, they would certainly earn that place today with the win.
Yeah, they did make it to champions
เที่ยวที่เห็นคือเป็น
last year.
Factor
We were
แล้วก็
talking about
บาย
this last week on the desk, and they're
แล้วโค้ชทั้งสอง
still
คน
in
ครับ
the upper bracket, and yet a lot of people
คนหนึ่
are
งชื่ออะไร
still
ไม่รู้ผมจำไม่ได้นะ
doubting if they
T1
can beat T1.
Yeah, I think that this roster has so much potential. We saw them go to champions last
ดู
year,
คุยกั
so
น
I think it's so easy to
ดีนะ
sleep on them because they weren't too exciting at champions. But it's that same roster, they're bringing it across, big wealth of experience, and a big opportunity today for them to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a big testing game for
แบบ
both
วัน
of
นี้
these teams.
Structure
As
by
you mentioned, T1
Heaven
a
ครับ
couple of shakier performances. We want to see them just come out of the gates. I want to see them
Structure
bully these
T1
players on an
ป้องกันก่อน
individual level, on their comfort roles against a talent
Structure
that's kind of
Talon
playing
Ball
more flexible
บาลอน
roles.
กัน
But I really think that the talent system
แล้ว
can definitely
Heaven
lead to a
Talon
lot
กัน
of inconsistency, and I think it's why you do see some inconsistency in their results. The theory crafting and the game planning versus what gets translated into the server itself can be a bit of a disconnect at times, but when it works, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. You want that flexibility, but you also want to
For
really
Thailand ปะ
understand and perfect your strats. So it's a bit of that.
ขอย้อนนะครับ
Versus what gets translated into the server itself can be a
TALON
bit of a
อ๋อโอเค
disconnect
โอ
at
เค only
times.
TALON
Fresh,
sorry
entirely new. T1 have no read, and they can read T1. So I think it's all
Oh,
about
yeah.
who starts stronger in this map one.
Definitely, and I can't wait to see the agent draft here. T1, on the other hand, you know, they had an early start compared to the rest of the rosters here in Pacific. We saw them in the offseason. Here we go.
Premium
Pretty
เป็น
back
เทล
on
เหมื
the
อนเดิมครับ
table.
Yeah, there you go. You're going to have ban on the deadlock as well, but it's looking like a pretty similar comp to what you usually see him running. It's just
เป็นเกือบ
Primi
Miller
on the
comp นะ
init role,
เปลี่ยน
and then
ไซเฟอร์
instead
กับ
of a
deadlock
main sentinel
เกือบ
that's going to
ตัว
hold a lot of that map control, like a Killjoy or a Cypher, they're playing the deadlock.
Yeah, so now we see the change coming in from T1. We see them picking up that Teo when they were leaning into
And
that double
Cypher.
duelist before. Yeah, Cypher is a big one as well, but I don't necessarily love the Cypher going against the Teo. I think it's hard to play, but I think that's definitely a big change putting Gizu on the Teo. They've shown that they want to stylistically change more to this conforming of the meta in a way.
I think the deadlock on Talon's side could definitely be for the double duelist to some extent. When they're trying to run those site execute styles, you know, you could try to get them with the sonic sensors and things like that.
Well, Fracture, whatever it is, it promises to be a very exciting match. So we're going to go to our casters. We have Chobra and Quack on the mic today. Please, boys, take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, already a very exciting look going into our very first map tonight between T1 and Talon. And I don't know how you feel, but I thought that the predictions that we had across the board on the Talon, like that was pretty accurate of how I felt. Like Talon have a chance. It's not minimal, but I still got to favor T1 just a bit on paper.
Yeah, numerically it does feel that way, but you know, who's to say Talon doesn't completely come in and give us a bit of an upset, you know? Who's to say? We looked at the map veto process and it kind of
คือเขามอง
does
ว่า
make
ยังไง
you question
T1
things
ก็
a little bit, but right now, I mean, just
ต้อง
T1
รอ
has
ดู
been that much more
ยังไงผม
consistent.
ก็เชียร์ทารอนครับ
Yeah, and
ทารอน
I think
ทั้ง
that
ใจ
Desmond a good point that it does
ให้
seem
ใคร
like
อีก
there
ล่ะ
was some
ให้
targeting
ทารอน
from
ทั้งใจ
Talon against the double duelist, against
และ
what
เริ่
we've
มนะค
already
รับนับ
seen
เวลา
from
ถอยห
T1
ลัง
on
แล้
Fracture,
ว
and in just that 1 week's time, passing that Lunar New Year, T1 has grown a year older, and now they're looking fresh with Izu on that Teho. We'll see how he's able to pilot it compared to Primi going up against the same Asian.
My God. Lunar New Year. We went forward in time and now it's a new composition. Of course, though, it is going to be a very interesting matchup for sure. Izu on towards the Teo, but T1 are starting on defense right now. Cam's already spotted.
Yeah, just the deadlock though, purposely not showing the full stack. It's a 5-man stack from Talon, but T1, they're very quick to push out a dish. So trying to just say, okay, we don't know for certain what this looks like over by tree. What are they just going to creep in? It's just going to be a fast push in, and there they go. The raise jumps in. Governor right there in Sylvan's face. But it's a 1-for-1 trade. Meteor still on the site. He cannot quite land onto multiple after Primi.
Did get at least banned down to low HP though, but now the 3-on-4. I mean, how do you refill back in with all that space up through events? He's going to be able to find at least Jit Boys.
Cruz has to back out, but Buzz chases him down before it's too late. Buzz, just a little bit of a chip, but like you mentioned, Ban already very low. Governor hiding out with him. It's going to be a 2-man trade. Ban should be the bait here for Governor to try to get the kill. Ban just acting like there's nobody else behind him. And now it all comes down to Governor. Izu trying to check the angle for him. It's not really planted for Governor, so it's not a great spot. And it looks like the defuse should just go through. There's the paint shells, but half already done. Governor has to go on the hunt. He has to win these duels. He's not going to be able to. Izu making sure that T1 is up 1-0.
So much pressure in the 1-on-2, 1-on-3 in fact, actually, with the aftershock in his face as well. Just hearing that spike continuing to get tapped, he had to push out, he had to find a kill, but considering the angles that T1 had, I mean, just coming in off of like a 3-on-4, right? Just being able to go up the ropes this way really broke apart the post-plant defenses that Talon had.
Yeah, and just this chase down was huge, right? Because it was planted more so for that tree line, for that heaven line, and eventually Governor and Ban, they just had to back out and try to get whatever picks they could. Talon looking poised for another push towards B main here by the tree line.
Okay, they do have the outlaw and everything as well.
น่าจะได้
Sylvan, he's just going to be able to spam down alongside Meteor. Meteor good with the double, and they know it's a good chase through. It's a 2v1. They should be able to keep their weapons. The Guardian gets dropped, but they know exactly where Jit Boys is at this point.
Yeah, the drones kind of spotted out Ben as well on the other end. So Izu is just marking it now with the Bulldog. Gets the final frag. T1 pretty much close to flawless.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider this a very successful round, still keeping both those Guardians as well. So T1 are just going smooth through. I love this choice to kind of go aggressive as well, rather than saying, whoa, like we got one, let's back out. Just saying, hey, let's push through, because we don't want to get chased down. You look at the composition that Talon's bringing. It's got a lot of chase potential. It's got a lot of lockdown potential on top of that Tejo. So even just with utility, you could take a lot of damage.
Just trying to be able to play around some of the compositions that they have, but at the same time now, as we head into the next round, because of Talon's full save, they've got the full shield, so Buzz's outlaw is going to have to watch out for that a little bit.
แม่งมาตั้งกล้องเนี่ยเหมือน
He's
รู้
been really good about these cam timings. This time going for arcade immediately gets deleted. He's just going to back out. Still has that tripwire there. It should get spotted and cleared. He's actually just going to jump over it. So Governor clears it afterwards, and now Heaven Control fully in. Buzz, meanwhile, gets killed on the other side. He's chasing down. That's a spike
ไป
down.
ได้ครู
Repeaks a little bit just to check. I think he might have spotted out at least 2. Meteor playing on the side inside of smoke as well. The Governor continuing to peek out, at least takes one down. Stacks makes it a trade.
ไม่เชียว
The Governor, he has to try to find a way out. He wants to, and he will get to safety. This is going to allow the reset, but now T1 already has a good read. They spotted one out at minimum outside of arcade. They know that Governor is still by B, so you can leave Meteor here and start to circle about, see if there's a plant coming towards A, and that's exactly where Buzz is on the minimap.
Yeah, still marking the exits out towards drop at least. Meanwhile, the rest of the team able to play the numbers game, so taking down Governor now makes it a lot much easier. Talon, though, still at least sticking together, will be able to get the spike
อยาก
down.
ได้ฮารอนพิกด้ว
Yeah,
ย
they do have a decent amount of utility. No more smokes, though, so once these two dissipate, that's going to be it for any masking possible for Talon. I love that T1. They're just waiting and saying, okay, it's a 4v2. Buzz is making sure that there's no wraparound through the spawn. Talon, they need to get extra picks, and look at what Izu's doing. He's just going to buy time, force him back in so that they can make sure that they group them up and take them out at the same time.
He stunned him as well.
And the chase down. Oh, Jit Boys, he's got to get traded instantly by Izu. Now a 3v1 Primi. He's pushed out. Can he isolate the 1v1s? He's got too many angles to be aware of, and it's going to only be one kill as Meteor cleans up for the bonus for T1.
T1 just being able to pick up the bonus that quick. I mean, they start off the round rather effectively, right? Just being able to stall and hold up around the B side, up around bench. But at the same time, I think one of the bigger things that all broke it apart was Buzz's decision to push all the way out of the gate. I mean, the dish. The fact that he spotted out that spike, and even 2 players off the fact, was able to give them a lot more of that advantage.
Yeah, the spike being dropped really slowed down Talon because they also had to make sure, is it a chase through? Is Buzz coming out with multiple people? Oh, and Stacks bringing bringing up the energy as well. We're really seeing the importance of kind of the attitude that IGLs have here in VCT Pacific. Obviously, Genji, a very prime example of that with Munchkin's confidence. Once again, it's going to be a very similar default. Cam, again, on Arcade, and it just gets read immediately. Meteor knows that there is going to be a force coming in. He doesn't know the number, but now you hear the stealth drone as well, you have a bit of an inkling.
Look at how he plays around the side as well. Really kind of close to Generator, playing around the other side. Sylvan there with a bit of a crossfire. But, okay, a bit delayed on that salvo, and it does capture on Sylvan.
Yeah, it's a great chase through you.
นั่นแหละเพื่อน
making sure that
ส
there
วย
is no exit already. Massive numbers advantage with the Stingers and upgraded rifles as well. Meteor can only get one. Premier's just back with a Stinger in close range. And Governor,
เมเทโอแม่งโหด
up
จัด
against the wall. He tries to duck through, but he at least gets that information. A 3v2 now, but look at Ban's health. Only 5 HP. It might as well be a 2v2 if Talon doesn't play this carefully.
Buzz is a full
Now
kit of
คนเดือด
utility as
Phantom
well.
เลยเหรอฮะ
Showstopper in the pocket. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Izu
no,
on
no,
the
no.
other side does send out the stun. Oh, the paint shells with the outlaw shot takes 2 down. It's all down to just Primi.
Showstopper online as well. Primi just hoping that it doesn't get checked, and it's just going to be a trade. The Stinger can't delete him fast enough, and Izu will go for the defuse. T1 now up 4-0. And quite frankly, in my head, I'm wondering, does this call for a timeout? But at the same time, I mean, Talon's starting position is just getting red. They already had 2 rounds where they just weren't able to buy up. And I don't know if you have anything much to add on other than let's wait to see what our players do once we have a couple buy rounds stacking up.
Yeah, it might be a little bit tough to call the timeout right now. I mean, you're not really seeing or exploring too much or enough just yet. I mean, right now, Meteor has been able to anchor the B site so effectively, or at least to get information. But down to the final play as well, this Outlaw has found so much value in with the Showstopper on a kamikaze play against Primi as well.
And Primi now with the Armageddon and Showstopper for Governor. So Talon really needs to make this round work. They wait for the cam. This time it's set up on Dish. So look at T1, they're rotating, right? The Cypher goes from tree line to arcade to Dish. Now making a little bit of noise, trying to draw out the Molly, the early smoke, drawing out a lot of that delay, but the Armageddon already trying to isolate the Governor all alone inside. Sylvan immediately gets traded.
Here's out Canteen at least, but right now Bust in with the op, goes in for the quick peeks, take down Jit Boys. Talon has swarmed the site though, so trying to hold it down with the spike down now.
He's waiting to see if there's a repeat. Goes right outside of the smoke, and he accurately identifies what Buzz is trying to do. Izu pushing in from the flank, though. Now 2v2, both teams separated. There's the Armageddon coming in from Izu, trying to make sure. But look at that small gap. Ban hiding on the site. I don't think T1's going to expect that no matter what happens. But he's going to win anyway.
สวย
Primi still being able to take the duel off to the other end of the site, but like you mentioned, that little gap, Izu just kind of going in for that little bit of a Hail Mary spike tap, but did not expect Ban to be there, so that definitely kind of doesn't work out in their favor, and the 1-4 comes through.
Yeah, looks like a timeout. I gotta imagine that it's still from Talon's side here, just given how the beginning was going through. Yeah, it's gonna be a Talon timeout, because you look at the timing, Governor kind of sent in, right? You heard the smoke come down, then you saw the Molly coming out. Governor stranded on no man's side. It was good recovery. They decide we still have to flood into the site. We have to have the numbers advantage, and they're able to secure the round, but perhaps not really liking the fact that, hey, we're starting as a 5-stack, and once we get red, we don't really have a way to adapt. So Jovi this time really sharing a piece of his mind on how Talon can try to catch up here on the attacking side.
โอ้ผู้ช่วยโค้ชมา
Maybe
ปั๊บ
definitely providing
ดี
some of
ขึ้น
those
เยอะนะ
tactics. They are sitting on 3 ultimates in this round as well, so there's a
อะไร
very
ที่
good
สามารถเข้าโหวต
chance
ที่
for
ไม่แบบ
Talon to really
โย
turn
นไม่
things
เข้ามา
around,
เล่น
turn the
ช่อง
tables
โหว่
around against
เป็น
T1.
บอร์ดอ่ะ
Now I gotta imagine at some point, I don't know if you keep going for these 5-man stacks on Talon's side. Going with that deadlock, you don't have that traditional flank watching passive intel that you would have with a Killjoy or a Cypher. So you're really banking on the fact that you're just blocking up the post plant. So I don't mind that idea, but at some point a variation has to come through because T1 just had a chance to discuss things with their players as well.
That is true indeed.
So it's going to be a split this time just to see if there's a push out on the north side. T1 does read accurately that the stack should be on the north side with a Hero Guardian in Meteor's hand.
To see how he makes use of it though. Right now, everyone positioned towards
เฮ้ยเหมือนรู้ว่าเราดันมาทางนี้กันหมดเลยดูดิ
Lots of trade of util. You only heard one gun. It's trapped.
Primi
Primi, there's so much util coming after him.
แม่ง
Meteor
เอา
just
สุด
traps
จัด
him
อะ
in.
กัน
That's
สาม
a rifle given over. Talon, they don't have time. Once again, they have to rush in. They have to just try to block up the site. Goes right by Governor. In the 1v1,
อย่านะ
killed down.
ไม่
The Sheriff headshot from Izu in the smoke.
all of them spotted out by the Neural Theft as well, and right now just trying to hold off to the other side. The barrier mesh kind of keeping them a little bit trapped in. Ban just trying to play inside of smoke, hoping that as soon as it dissipates, he
แบนต้อ
finds
งได้
something.
Yeah, he's trying to fake him out with that barrier mesh. It's a double push in from Talon, but now they're both identified. There comes the stun, lands him up. No, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Cruz still pushing through from the site itself. Now they know exactly where the Talon players are. Jip Boys needs to hold through. There is a Rolling Thunder just to stay alive. It's a matter of time at this point. Crossfire is set up from Talon. T1, what's the play? The smoke comes out to try to isolate, and Sylvan gets him as he's trying to relocate. Jip Boys trapped inside. There's the orbital strike. Orbital strike traded. Defuse, half not quite done, I don't think. And is that enough time? The volley comes out as well, and Sylvan has no option but to run.
The round saved by Chit Boys in with the counter orbital. Just being able to burn down at least one of the other players as well. I mean, so much chaos on this side with Governor being able to sneak all the way through, and T1 almost completing the eco, but down to it all at the end. Just Chit Boys alongside some of the other players being able to stick around the site.
I mean, this was messy. Let's say it like it is. But hey, if you're Talon right now, you'll take whatever rounds you can get. But it didn't start off as smoothly as they would have hoped. Primi, they were hoping that the tail would be the fake sell enough. Now finally A main, and then a north push from Ban as well. Talon, they haven't quite gone for A site this strongly 2 rounds in a row yet.
Yeah, well, for now, just trying to hold out the round A main.
Stealth drone to see if there's a drop down over from Dish. Izu trying to make the jump over. Doesn't quite get the information he wants.
Okay, but right now it is a lot of intel, a lot of util being spent as
ติดยัด
well.
แม่งเลย
Yeah, but the quick wraparound from Meteor. They know for a fact that this is A site. They're already positioned to hold the spawn line. It's really a matter of timing, and there's the stun, the drop.
อะไรอ่ะอยู่ดีก็ตันมา
Two-man drop. Cruz tries to hold him through. Annihilation does lock one up. Primi has to win that, and he does. Locks up
อย่า
A-main as
อย่า
well.
โอ้แม่งมากันเยอะจัด
Door as well, but here comes the swing from Buzz. Now looking for the next one. Cruz just buys a little bit of time, but the salvos, he is stuck behind the little box.
Oh, you gotta be
sure
careful.
Buzz is aware.
Yeah, you gotta recognize that there's a gap there, Buzz, with a nice
แล้วมึงจะเคลียร์ทำไมถ้าจะมองเห็นน้อง เอาโหล สวย
Ban cleans up one.
Oh,
A 1v1
1v1
with 8 HP from Governor. Boombot stacks nose. Does he hold for the half? Governor, where's the swing? He still waits. He baits him into thinking that it's the half, and then Stacks is still waiting. Just with enough time to finish the defuse.
So patient, just has it in his hands, and he knows that he's got the round. With 8 HP remaining, just not much that he could really do. Trying to play so conservative behind the boxes, it allows for Stacks to go with that swing. He's confident with it. Now onto the other parts of the round. Yeah, quite chaotic on the site itself as well, but the Annihilation does find someone. But down to it all, just because that T1 managed to get that space up behind A main, managing to kind of get that pinch play in towards the site, really threw things off for Talon.
And I love that Buzz checks that little corner as well. Whether it was purposeful or not, they recognize that there's a gap, that someone has to be trapped in that corner in A main. This time a 3-1-1 split from Talon, finally spreading out across the entire map. And Primi only with a Spectre in hand, 2 points away from his Armageddon.
Okay, but nothing found for now. The stealth drone pushed all the way out of A main doesn't spot anyone.
Yeah, and Stacks does hear the zip lines. Not entirely sure what the game plan is, but look at that. They're already looking for Dish because there was nobody main. Trying to make sure that there's no push in from the north side. Already the attack starts over by B, though.
Yeah, smokes out, so players starting to get ready, at least T1. A little bit stunned up. Governor straight in towards tower, and that position is very well noted by media.
And there's the ping chills. Buzz, does he try to peek out? The stun comes through Governor. Yeah, no way out of that one. You're stuck in dead water. And now just on site, waiting. Barrier mesh comes out. There's the Rolling Thunder to keep them at bay. And Ban just gets caught right in the trap of things. Talon, no way to enter the site. 3 members all stuck on Dish. 40 seconds. You could rotate, but now you're getting read like a book.
Yeah, so much of the util already spent as well, Chobra. I don't know what Talon could do in this round. Maybe just a save at this point as well. They lost so many of their players early on. I mean, it looked like they were trying to go for that mental conditioning play towards B, and then kind of come in with a full rotate back towards A. But Buzz pushed out. Buzz got all the intel.
Yeah, the pain shell's really trapping up Governor. That means you know that he's out of heaven as well. So you know that it was going to be a fake. It's a great read from T1 and the early save call. They did have Armageddon. You still have the salvos, but not going to rely on that as a way to secure the round 5 or 3v5. And Talon will just have to give up another point. T1 now up to 6.
Yeah, right. I mean, it feels like we just kind of started things off, but so much already has been handed to T1. Talon needs to find a way to really claw their way back into the game. They have the Armageddon, but so far, not entirely sure how they're going to capitalize on that thing.
And I think the biggest trouble is T1 seems to have a decent read that it's always going to be a stack. They're pushing out without that much investment. Just one or two pieces of util, one person checking to see if there's a push, the cam checking to see if it's a stack. And once they get the read, they immediately start to rotate and put out their own delay in the form of things like the fault line. And so I'd love to see Talon either go maybe even faster or try to use the map a bit more, play with the time a bit more. You still had, 40 seconds left in that previous round as well.
I feel like that's what they were trying to do in the previous round, but it's just so much of it is getting shut down because players like Buzz are just so proactive. But here we go, looking for that possible full send straight into the A site. Salvos to clear out a little bit of space early on in towards A main.
You don't have the salvos to clear the site, though, and already so much time, so there is the ult orb. You could have sent the Armageddon, but it really does feel like Talon, they're now trying to put the pressure, forcing T1 to either invest members or utility to re-clear A main, and T1, they just hold. They recognize, all right, Talon, if you want to change the pattern, that's fine. We got a crossfire set up. We got someone watching Dish as well. We're pretty safe here. Meanwhile, the Cam and the Tripwire watching Arcade, so the two members of T1 are feeling safe.
And you were absolutely right as well. I mean, look at T1. So much util still kept in their pockets.
แล้วมาไซด์ที่แบบตัวตึงอยู่กันสอง
clear
ตัว
green light from Talon. Now Buzz kind of sussing things out a little bit. Starts to actually back off in towards A, but that should be the tell.
Yeah, the fake over to Sands does work, so Buzz is out of the site. That leaves the site empty, but Governor, he can't quite get the kill. The Cyber Cage getting so much value. Buzz now repositioned, and Talon has no idea. They do now, but he's just gonna spray down and shut down the gate to B site.
เจอบัสอ่ะ
Completely
บัสมันยืนยิงฟรีอ่ะ
blocked as well. The door shut in front of Talon's faces. It's just Cruz here. Has the spike on the ground, but not really within his range to pick it up. Still continuing to try to poke around to spot out at least a player, maybe get a point towards his Rolling Thunder, but so many targets on the other end. Stacks will be able to get the final burst.
7-2 on the defensive side, and T1 has not had to overextend or overheat. It really does feel like a big part of this is the compositional change from T1, maybe throwing Talon off a bit. Because imagine if T1 still had a double duelist, they would also have to push out very hard from one side to really eliminate all the info. And then Talon could just play Ring Around the Rosie around the entire map. But right now, Talon's like, all right, let's go in. And T1 just delays and then says, all right, what's your next plan? Because we're all just going to hide out in sight. T1's not pushing out until it's past the 1 minute mark.
Which is why this compositional change from T1 is just so majestic. Right now, Meteor spotting them out once again.
Yeah, and that's a good cam hit. The Tripwire will get spotted. Stealth drone just trying to make sure there's no one hiding behind the box, but it's not that much value. You don't get any sight, obviously, into the site itself, or you can't get to heaven from this side. So Talon, once again, blind as a bat. Ban wondering if there's going to be a flank, but look at the map. This time, T1, they recognize, okay, they're breaking the cam, they're breaking the Tripwire. We've already pushed out of A main. We're ready to pitch.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Meteor gets one kill. That's the tail end gone. Jit Boys will try to hold on, but look at the position on the map. They're trapped around the smoke. Jit Boys will still fight through. Meteor's still alive, wrapping around Talon. They have to clear on Meteor. They're not quite sure where he's repositioned to, and they just don't have the numbers anymore. A triple kill for the Sentinel T1, and Buzz will finish the job.
Complete and utter destruction. T1, I mean, you talked about the comp, but also how they're able to hold down the site. I mean, just a little bit conservative with some of their smokes, but because they have that Teo on the other end alongside Buzz, T1 are able and effectively able to continue pushing out, gathering so much information, coming back into rendezvous with the rest of their teammates. Meanwhile, Meteor's just so slippery as well.
Yeah, I mean, Meteor gets the kill under a deadlock. You already have your teammates coming up from B tree line, so you know you're safe to wrap around. It's just, there's so much passive info actually going over to T1 side. Now a trade of salvos, Talon picking up the speed. Governor, he's already into Sands, but T1, they're looking to just delay again. Look at the position. They've got Izu on site. They just want to set up a crossfire. Buzz, Izu's going to actually finish off that kill.
A little bit way too far ahead. Jit Boy's looking for the trade, but not quite in position or ready to really go for it. Right now, then, T1 finds the timing against it. Buzz continuing to swing out, almost getting the spray transfer. Stacks gets the trade. All that's left is just Cruz, and he hears the footsteps from behind, goes in for the swing, but the Stinger will not complete its kill.
Yeah, and again, right here this round, Buzz doesn't start to peek out until his teammates have already pushed attacker spawn. So even if he goes down, the pinch is there. You still have a crossfire on site between Izu and Stacks. You have that backup plan. So that rifle you drop, it's not going to be too much danger. They're still going to be trapped in sands. And T1, I mean, this might be one of the smoothest fractures they'll ever have to play.
Just so clean with how they're able to make it work right now, and Talon just not quite having the solution. This is just the first half, but you got to keep in mind a few rounds ago, well, it's several rounds ago now, Buzz was just so fired up. Stacks is so fired up. You got to remember, they are close towards qualifying for Masters Bangkok, and they really want it. Now, the last round of the first half, pushing through.
Yeah, Annihilation and Rolling Thunder. You got to dump everything you got. It's going to be a push towards spawn. Primi does have the spike, but trying to stick to the game plan of clearing out spawn. But where are you going, son? You got to come back to the team because you don't have control of the site. You have to plant, and that's going to be Primi now left all alone with spike in hand, and he goes down as Talon loses a 2-10 first half.
Down and kaboom! I mean, you saw the movements on a mini-map, but at the same time, just Sylvan being able to hold down the ground on the site. A quad kill coming in. You gotta imagine this does not feel good for Talon.
Oh, this is rough. Again, the game plan was to push that spawn, try to get more space, make sure that you've cut off the backup so that you have an option if you need to rotate, given how fast T1 has been swarming the site. I like the round read. I'm actually not going to criticize that at all because I think that probably was the answer. It just happened to be the last round of the half. But at the end of the day, his teammates blocked off, getting delayed. Primi now separated, spike in hand. You can't rotate back out of arcade. And then the team just all falls to pieces one by one. Yeah, you gotta flip all of them at once. There you go. Buzz and Stacks reunited. And you mentioned how much it would mean for T1 to return to an international, not just the team itself, but Stacks missing out on all international tournaments last year. As one of the, most decorated veterans here in Korea, he would love to kick off the year by getting to an international stage again.
Without a doubt. You gotta remember all those lovely little elevator gags that we had with
Paper Thin kept him. Yeah, Paper Thin kept him locked in. I know you blame Paper Thin, but what are you gonna do?
Paper Thin's not here any longer, and Stacks is ready to break those doors open. But at the same time, on the other end, it's a Thai team, a Thai organization. They got some Thai players on the team, and they are hungry for the win as well. Just that right now, with this first half going this way, it does not feel good.
Yeah, we'll see how the defense is set up. Now, you do have your own set of tons of delay on defense, so you don't have to, all stack up like you did on attack. It is a little bit of a different story, but obviously on pistol, let's just see how much of that utility is going to be useful. You have that sonic sensor set up for tree line, and two members trying to prepare for a fight towards arcade. Oh, okay, just not making any noise with the drone either. It does break eventually, and Ban should have heard that, so you look at Primi, keeping his eye. Trained on towards arcade. Is he ready for the full push? There comes the smokes. Jimboy immediately trying to fill the site. Izu gets one. Ban trades back. Izu still with two. Primi trades back again. It's a 2 for 2. And Primi staying alive on the site. The timing for Meteor. Primi finds him. It's Cruz and Primi. The Thai duo this time keeping things locked down.
Yeah, possibly on the defensive side. This is where Talon really gets to shine a little bit more, especially with their deadlock coming through. Ban was able to block things off.
Now, double outlaw. You gotta snowball things as much as possible. Two Bulldogs as well. That Salvo doing good work. Primi launching that before he goes for the peak. And Jitboy's really kind of acting as that speed bump as he peeks out from the side at an unknown timing. So Talon this time trying to rally themselves. It's still a long way to go, but it's gotta be a 5-man buy.
There it is. Hopefully being able to snowball this into further rounds. Now peeking outside tree. Spots out the can though.
Yeah. Not quite sure if it was broken there on the last shot, but Cam spotted towards tree. So Talon, they're going to choose to just try to get information elsewhere. T1 already has a lot of control of the map itself. It's just the weaponry not quite there, and I just want to call out that some habits die hard. Meteor not getting rid of the Gen G habit of buying that sheriff here, the lone sheriff on T1's side on that eco. We'll see what he can do with it.
Inside of A main.
Obviously, the old Genji squad, very well known for their headshots. And because he's already way up to the line of scrimmage, not spotted by anybody, it's going to be a fake. Try to draw attention with the stealth drone, and now you've already got the Raze close here on A side. T1, they're getting ready to strike on. Talon, no reason to fully shift, but I mean, they are blind right now.
Here did call out for those smokes at the same time though, so maybe trying to use that to
อย่า
slip
พี่
through.
พี่ทีมอย่า
Who's kind of
ขอ
noted
อย่างเดียว
on
พี่
towards the other side, inside of the smoke with his
อย่า
burst.
ตายพอตอน
So
นี้
at least just
ส
trying
วย
to
ครับ
spray
พี่
down and find something. He does get down stacks.
Yeah, full faith that his fault line was going to delay some people, so they still spray down. Now finally the spike goes down, and he should just be able to get it in.
นั่นแหละ
Eventually gonna go down to the Salvos, his right foot right across the barrier there. Sylvan gonna launch the molly. T1 looks like they want to try to win this, but it's gonna be really tough with only 2 members and just their classics in hand. It's really a question of how many weapons does Talon drop. So far, the answer is going to be 0, and Izu, not much to do, will just hide out. Just trying to go for the salvo. I think he didn't realize that it was actually being stuck, because he does have to go out and try to take a fight here.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate while his teammates kind of all fell around him. So the salvos as well, not quite finding too much, just kind of keeping that around. So a little bit tough for T1 in the round, but otherwise a really successful retake for Talon.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Ban was dead to rights right there when the peak came out, but stays alive, keeps the weapon. So 2 outlaws, 3 bulldogs. If Talon can get over this bonus round, we can start to talk about the potential of a comeback. T1, this time look at the utility on the north side. Full passive information, a straight trade here towards Tree, and T1's gonna win out. Now up 5-4, the smoke comes down. They've already drawn out a crucial piece of one of that delay util. Oh, another kill for Meteor as well. The 1v1 against Ban, and now Talon. They're stretched across the diagonal of the map.
3 on 5 as well. You just don't quite have the numbers to really reinforce and hold down a lot across the map. You can't have fights like that when Ban, your lone sentinel, is kind of getting picked apart. So now, just trying to hold the space as much as they can.
Yeah, Premi wondering if it was going to be a wraparound. Not sure if he heard the cam the first time, but he's just keeping his eye trained. Talon, they have to choose where they want to fight. The salvos come in from both sides. Cruz tries to get a bait. Doesn't quite get it. Aftershock, but there's the timing from Meteor. Right when Talon forgot about Arcade. The teamwork is impeccable for T1.
So clean with it. Just being able to bait out the utility and then the timing for Meteor to swing out off the other end. Of course, they don't expect that. Now it's just Jit Boys, and he's trying to peek on through.
Jit Boys, obviously, it being the bonus, you get whatever you can take. Just a bulldog in hand. You can rack up a multi-kill, get a little bit closer to that orbital strike. Well, it's not going to happen. Sylvan shuts him down as well. T1 now 2 points away from already closing out our first map.
Ridiculously close and fast to it. I mean, Jit Boys didn't get the dink, though. He didn't get the dink, but still, it's just so much of it going right for T1 right now, who are firing on all cylinders, like in all regards. They know that it's like so quick away that, yes, it's going to be the outlaw. Maybe they're going to peek out early on. And because of that, Buzz is able to go in for that quick swing, quick push down straight B main. And then they completely flooded the site with that teamwork. Meteor being able to hold down the other side as well.
Yeah, Busan, the esports arena down there, having a viewing party with 3 Korean teams playing today. A good day for it. I believe they'll have a large kind of festival for the finals as well for kickoff. But right now, Talon still continuing, still a chance. So it's going to be a push out, trying to chase through with that fault line. They tag 1, but Izu only going to be the tail end. B-side already wide open from Buzz. The only place they haven't cleared is Heaven, and he'll carefully wait for his teammates.
Yeah, practically just going for the full retake. Izu, though, ooh.
Now hiding out in sewers, he could get a great timing, even if it's not a cutoff. I mean, you just have to wait to get the call that they're coming onto site, and then he wraps around. Meanwhile, keeping my eyes on Ban's position as well on spawn. He should hear the ropes, so he should be able to notify his teammates that there might be a wraparound, but it looks like he might have missed it because nobody's watching their back. Buzz gets 1. Meanwhile, Izu now backed out towards Arcade. Talon trapped with nowhere to go, but they have a mission. They have to defuse the spike, but they don't even have any sight line on any extra members. There's there's Salvos coming in. It's just going to be extra delay upon delay, and that's where the Tejo shines. No chance for the defuse. A save for 3 members, and Talon will be down at 4 rounds while T1 is on the doorstep of their map win.
Just that composition again, right? I mean, you get to see this duo with Stacks working alongside Izu. That's what this composition is built for. Mid-range, they get the spike down. They didn't spend way too much getting into the site, and with the salvos kind of refreshing, they're just able to keep it for a post-plan. That's why they pushed so much so in towards defender spawn, just to be able to throw out that utility. And despite Talon getting into range of the site, they weren't able to do anything off of it. Now the last round, possible last round coming through now, you gotta imagine how Talon can really scramble something together at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to focus on the north side. That's their choice. Let's just push out, clear out one side once we get contact. But the setup that Meteor has, unless you push with Util, he can just stand there the entire round with full information. Can watch both arcade and towards the push out from Dish as well. Now, the only thing is he doesn't have an exit. So when these two members buy Dish, when Governor peeks out, oh, but they're not going to. They get faked out by some of that pressure coming out from A main, and they don't ever quite push out. That gives Meteor timing to make his own move.
Meteor off towards the other side, but right now Buzz trying to hold the paint shells, actually catches Governor. Oh no! Swaps over onto the shorty, and Buzz continuing to go in, looking for something, anything inside of the smokes, while Talon just keeps themselves trapped inside of the defender's spawn. Meteor comes in for the pinch from behind.
Yeah, I mean, they are absolutely trapped, and they're trying to go for the wraparound. Premi finds him, but now it's still a 3v4. T1 still 40 seconds. You still have Buzz over by Sans. You don't have to push this. Ban will find one kill. The call should be coming in. But there's the swing up from the ropes. Ship Boys, does he have an idea of where Stacks is? Ban, he gets taken down. It's just two different 1v1s. 30 seconds on the clock. Premi, if he can get this kill, now a 2v1. You're feeling a lot better. Premi just has to hold on to the site. Stacks, some great moments last week. Got that clutch against Paper Rex. Premi, does he wait for his teammate to come up close? They're going to try to push him out. Blind side of him, he's still on the site. There's the swing from Jip Boys! And Jip Boys will keep Talon alive just one more time.
So well working together. The tie duo, another tie duo, you know, this time not Cruz, it's going to be Jit Boys alongside Premi, and it all works out so beautifully. Starting things off, right, it felt like everything was pinched in.
Yeah, I mean, Stacks just had to get that kill, but Premi this time doesn't quite show himself fully. Waits for Jip Boys and then swings out together. Jip Boys getting that kill. So, you know, when they're given the opportunities, they are able to set up some of these fights, but in that first half, because of the positional advantages T1, all members winning a lot of their duels that they needed. And now Talon, just too long of a road to go, but it's not over yet. Premi has his Armageddon. Still got that Annihilation on Ban as well. Meanwhile, Rolling Thunder online for Stacks, so it could just be Ascend onto B site, where Ban is alone with just 2 Sonic Sensors.
And that ult would be the big one. Drone to start things off and clear out towards bench.
And I see that orb go over as well. That's the showstopper. So the most you can hope for is that the ults are going to be used. Meteor, he is caught. Meanwhile, showstopper onto the site. Meteor, he has to run away. Can he stay alive? He's going to choose to fight. Nowhere else to go. He tries to get one, but immediately gets deleted. So now you've got the tree line covered and already trying to wrap around the north side as well. Talon's really trying to maximize the wraparound, but I don't know if that's going to stir them because how long it's going to take.
ระบุกไม่เก่ง
they're gonna have to
ระ
go
บุกเล่น
quick.
น้อยมากเลย
Izu does see the boom bot, so Governor knows that someone's watching Stewards as well. There's Rolling Thunder just for extra delay. Ban now using the Annihilation, but Buzz already peeks around. There's so much pressure coming out of Sewers. They just can't quite get the wrap around. It's going to be ults for ult as the Armageddon comes out along with the Annihilation. Annihilation does not land. Ban trying to keep Sylvan en route. He's trying to keep him locked in. He knows he has him grabbed at it, but there's the able to strike with the kill. Ban gets one, but there's still so much delay in the salvo, keeping them away from the spike. Ban sticks it. He needs to stay on it, but he gets pulled apart. And Izu will close things out as T1 close out the first map 13-5.
13-5, the quick scoreline just to kick things off. I mean, Talon picked this against them.